Hello, second grader. Welcome to a new math lesson. We're still on topic 12, lesson 7, measuring different, using different units with the same object. So let's see what we have.
Measure this pencil in inches. Then measure it again in centimeters. Which measurement has more units?
Okay, we know that the centimeters is smaller than the inches. So if we measure the pencil using the ruler, where it says the centimeter side, and when we measure the same pencil using the inches side, we'll find out that the inches will be less than the centimeters because we just said that the centimeters is smaller. So at the smaller units, we'll use more. Okay, let's see our video.
You can use different units to measure the lengths of objects. Would you use more centimeters or more meters to measure the length of the teacher's desk? Think about this question during the lesson. Let's measure the desk using centimeters. The desk is about 91 centimeters long. Now let's measure the desk using meters. Is the desk more than 1 meter or less than 1 meter long?
Select your answer.
We agree that 1 meter equals 100 centimeters. So if it's 91 centimeter, that means it's less than 1 meter because it's less than 100 centimeters.
It is less than 1 meter long because the meter stick is over the end. The desk is about 1 meter long. Why do we say that the desk is about 1 meter long?
Because look at the meter stick, it's almost there. So it's closer to be a meter long. So that's why we say about.
We say it is about 1 meter long because it is closer to 1 meter than it is to 2 meters. What rule can we make about measuring with two different size units? The smaller the unit, the more of them you will have to use to measure the same object. You used more centimeters than meters because a centimeter is a much smaller unit than a meter. When does it make sense to measure the desk using centimeters instead of meters? It makes sense to measure the desk in centimeters when you want a more exact answer. Now you know what happens when you measure the length of an object using different units.
All right, and we also learn how to go to the about, which is like closer to, is it closer to the meter or closer to the less than the meter? Like in our example here, when we measure the desk. Okay, let's go for our guided practice, page 534. All right, measure each real object using different units. Circle the unit that you use more to measure each object. So we have here centimeters and we have meters and we have the object that you need to be measured. So this is a bookcase, but try to measure something that's a real object. So it could be, if you don't have a bookcase like that, it could be like a small cabinets or drawers or even a small desk. So about how many centimeters and about how many meters. Of course, when you see an object like that, it's a big object, so you will be using, which unit you will use more, will be using more centimeters. Because if it's a meters, it's about a meter, but if it's centimeters, will be more than that because it's a big object and a centimeter is a small measuring unit. So centimeter, I can measure a part of a paper clip. I can measure a button. I can measure a penny. But for meter, I use it to measure big objects. Over here, the same. You see the closet that height of a closet, you see that if I use, or a cupboard, about centimeter, it will be more than meter, because again, this is a big object, and then I know that the centimeter is a small measurement unit. All right. So this is for today, using the centimeter or meters, and figured out which measurement unit you're using the most, or using more than other. It depends, of course, on the object you measure. Okay, that's it for today. I'll leave you with the rest of the activity in your book, page 535, 536. Hello, second graders, welcome to a new math lesson. We're still in topic 12, lesson 8. So please open your book, page 537. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to compare lengths. In the previous lesson, we learned how to use centimeter and meters, and which measuring units we use more. Let's see what we have here.
Circle two paths. Estimate which one is longer. How can you check if your estimate is correct?
All right. Remember, when we say estimate, means just think or guess which one is closer to longer or shorter. Okay, let's watch our video.
Analyze and plan. Look at these two paths. Which path is longer? How much longer? The paths are not straight, but each path has two straight parts that are connected. How can we find the length of each path?
So, as we know that it's not straight, so what we do, we measure each part and add the measurement result and see which one would be either more or less.
Think about both parts of the path when you estimate and measure. The blue path is about 5 centimeters. The red path is about 6 centimeters. Now measure each part of the path, then add the parts together to find the total length of the path. Solve and justify. One part of the blue path is about 2 centimeters. The other part is about 2 centimeters. What is the total length of the blue path?
So 4 centimeters. So that's first we estimate, and then we're using now our measurement unit or the ruler to see. So we measure one part was 2 centimeters and the other part was about 2 centimeters. So total 4 centimeters.
Add the parts together. 2 plus 2 equals 4. The blue path is about 4 centimeters long. Now measure the red path. One part of the red path is about 1 centimeter. The other part is about 4 centimeters. What is the total length of the red path?
Select your answer.
So again, the two parts, we measure each part separately. So the first part is 4 centimeters and the small part was 1 centimeter. So 4 and 1 equals 5. So the red path is about 5 centimeters.
1 plus 4 equals 5. The red path is about 5 centimeters long. Evaluate. Subtract to compare the lengths. The blue path is about 4 centimeters long. The red path is about 5 centimeters long.
So now I know that the red path is longer than the blue path.
5 minus 4 equals 1. The red path is about 1 centimeter longer than the blue path. Now you know how to measure the length of a path that is not straight.
So we learned that to measure a length of a path that is not straight, you measure to the two parts separately. So first we measure one of the parts and we see how many centimeters, and then we measure the other part and we add the two parts together. That would be the total of the length of the path. And as in our examples here, we have the blue path and we have the red path. And we notice that the blue path is shorter than the red path. If we go to our guided practice, we have more exercise covering this part. So estimate the length each path, then use a centimeters ruler to measure each path. So first, you estimating, you thinking or guessing. So when you guess the total of the red path together. So as the first one done for you, we estimated it's about 9 centimeters. And then after that, use the rulers and measure both parts, add them together and see. So when we estimate at 9 centimeters, but then when we measure it is about 10 centimeters. So the red path is about 10 centimeters. Also here for the green path, we do the same. What we do, we're gonna measure first this part. So we're gonna measure this part first and put it on the side, and then measure the other part and add the measurement together. So you first you put your estimation for the length of the path B or the green one, and then you put it here, and then after that measure each part and add that measurement together and see if you're closer or not. Then after that, answer the question that you have: which path is longer and how much longer? So let's say if path A was longer than path B, so that would be, this is the longer, and then how much longer you will see that the measurement was about 10 centimeter, and let's see the measurement here were 8 or 7 or 9, so you will know that about how many centimeters longer the red path than the green path. All right, the same for also the first activity you have on your book, page 537. They want you to estimate each. So what you do, you measure each part of the path and then put it together. First you estimate and then you measure it. All right, that's it for today's lesson, second grader. Thank you. Hello, second grader. Welcome to a new lesson. We're still in topic 12, and this is the last lesson for our topic. In this topic, we learn about measurement. We use different units. We learn about inches, foot, yard, centimeter, meters. We also learn about how to measure not on a straight path. And we learned that we measure each part and we add them together. We learn about estimating, when you're guessing the measurement or the length or the height of something, an object, and then after that you measure it using the right measurement unit and see if you're close, or probably you get lucky and you get exactly the same measurement for this object. So today, lesson 9, let's see what we have.
Zeke measures the snake and says it is about 4 inches long. Jay says it is about 5 inches long. Who measures the snake more precisely? Measure and explain.
So precisely means exactly or close to be true. So in this case, as you see, this is not straight line. I cannot use a ruler to get the measurement of a snake. So we can use a yarn and move it around, let it have the same shape of the snake, and then after that we can use we can use the yarn and straighten it and see how what's the measurement for it using the ruler or the measurement tape.
Anna uses string to help measure the worm. Is her work precise? Why or why not?
Let's find out about measuring precisely.
Why is Anna using string to measure the worm? The worm is not a straight line, and so the string can be used to bend along the length. What can you do to measure precisely? You can choose units and tools that will help you measure precisely. You can estimate first, choose a tool, start at 0, measure twice, write the unit. What tools can you use to measure precisely? When you write your measurements, what must you include? You can use an inch ruler, centimeter ruler, yardstick, meter stick, measuring tape, or string. You must always include the units when you write your measurements. Anna lines up the string along a ruler to measure the length. Why has Anna lined the string up along the ruler starting at 0?
Because we know this is how we measure. We need to start with the 0, and we can see that the yarn is about 3 inches. So that's why we need to write what unit did she use. So she didn't use centimeters, she uses inches. So that means this worm is 3 inches.
She knows the string is the same length as the worm. What will lining up the string tell her? The length of the worm in inches. Anna measures the worm again to check her work. Then she writes the length. How long is the worm? How do you know?
Select your answer.
I know it's 3 inches because as we see the yarn, and I started from the 0, and the yarn ends at 3. So the length is 3 inches.
The worm is about 3 inches long. It is closest to the 3-inch mark on the ruler. Now you know how to use precision to measure and write units.
All right, so you need to measure twice, estimate first, choose the right tool. Of course, when you measure anything, you have to start with 0 and measure twice to make sure that you did not make mistake the first time, and then write the unit. What did you use? Centimeters, inches, foot, yard, meter. All right, let's go to our guided practice, page 542, and see that exercise we have. All right, solve this problem. Beth measures the crayons and says it's 5 centimeters. Is her work precise? Explain. Right. As we see here, she said it's 5 centimeters. Is her work precise? I will say that no, her work is not precise, but she does not line up the crayon as we see, starting from the 0. She started from the beginning of the ruler, but the 0 is here. So she needed to back up, push up a little bit so that marker start with the 0. So it's about 5 centimeters, but it's not precisely 5 centimeters. So we can put this explanation over here. We're going to say that no, because her work is not precise. As we see, why we think she's not, because she does not line up the crayon starting from the 0. She started from the beginning of the ruler, but as we see the measurement over here, this is where the 0 start, but she started before that. So at the 0 mark. Okay, so put this down. So remember, when we say precisely means exactly, and that's why if you want something like that, you need to repeat it twice. Make sure that you started from the 0 and make sure that using the right tools, or you writing the unit that you use to measure any object. All right, that was it for today's lesson and today's topic, topic 12. All right, thank you.